Every year, more than 1 billion flowers come into the US for Valentine's Day. Most come from massive farms in Colombia. But these roses have as little as 48 hours to get cut and flown to Miami before they wilt.
They have a short lifetime and thus require the most rapid form of transportation, and that is by air.
It takes a vast network of farmers, air cargo, coolers, and customs officers working 24/7.
Leading up to Valentine's Day, the amount of flowers coming to the airport double and triple.
Treating these flowers right is even a matter of protecting the US.
The danger of an exotic pest to establish in the United States, our food supply is affected.
From greenhouse to gift, we follow the journey of your Valentine's Day bouquet. 70% of cut flowers imported to the US come from Colombia, from farms like this one. With over 2,800 acres, Elite Flower is the largest privately owned farm in the country. The temperate climate, high altitude, and 12 hours of sunlight create the perfect growing conditions for these blooms.
Producimos alrededor de 800 millones de tallos al año, de los cuales 400 millones, la mitad, son rosas.
That would fill up 414 Boeing 767s. And even within roses, there are 100 varieties. Out in the greenhouse, socially distanced workers inspect each flower from petal to stem for rot or bugs.
Proceso, lo que hacemos es seleccionar la flor por sus colores, por el tamaño de cabeza. Se hace una selección para que haya una consistencia en el armado, se arma el ramo.
Using shears, workers cut each flower off one by one.
Lo que pasa en el metabolismo de la flor es apenas tú la cortas, la flor empieza un proceso de mortalidad.
To slow that decay, the flowers are sent to a cold room for a minimum of 12 hours. This begins what's known as the cold chain.
El éxito es mantener la cadena de frío lo más constante posible, alrededor de los 38 grados Fahrenheit.
Extra leaves and thorns are stripped off the stem using this tool. Workers wear thick gloves to guard themselves from thorns. Elite Flower is buzzing year-round, but it gets especially busy in February. In the weeks leading up to Valentine's Day, the company adds an extra 4,000 employees and generates 90% of its profits. Elite partners with UPS to fly these flowers to the US. Each plane can hold up to 1 million flowers, but airlines like Avianca or LATAM are also big flower movers.
89% of all flowers entering the United States by air came through Miami International Airport.
It's an airport!
That's business, that's money.
After a 4-hour journey, this temperature-controlled LATAM Airlines flight landed in Miami.
This airplane arrived with more than 50 tons of flowers from Colombia. And then we start to move one of the 23 pallets that we have here to this machine to downloading the flowers.
The flowers end up in this cold warehouse, held at the same temperature as that airplane.
The most important thing for us is to maintain the cool change.
There are almost 400,000 square feet of cooling facilities at Miami Airport.
That were built because of the flower industry. Flowers represent our largest commodity coming in.
Next, Customs and Border Protection checks flowers from every flight.
Over 84,000 units for inspection here.
Agricultural specialists like Stanley pull just 2% of the flowers from each flight to inspect.
We have a sampling protocol. We know for sure that 2% is representing the 100% of the flowers that are coming in.
Inspections are done quickly, so the flowers don't wilt or get handled too much.
We make sure that our inspection area is cooler. The temperature is good for the flowers and for our personnel.
One by one, officers open up boxes and remove the bundles, wearing PPE to protect against diseases and pesticides.
They take a bouquet of flowers and they remove the plastic and then they shake it gently. They have to get a white background, and if anything falls, they'll have to observe if there is any insect, but at the same time they are doing the visual observation to see whether the leaves have any kind of signs of diseases.
Like a bacterial or fungal disease.
If there's a fungal inspection, you see some rusty patches. She has seen a sign of maybe a disease. Now she has to use a loupe to magnify.
Even more important to look out for, bugs. Leaf miners, caterpillars, fruit flies, and beetles. Critters that may seem harmless, but if they got through, they could wreak havoc on the U.S. agricultural system.
Every year, the United States spends billions of dollars in eradication programs in order to eradicate those pests.
From 2007 to 2014, Florida's orange and grapefruit growers lost $2.9 billion trying to eradicate the Asian citrus psyllid. So if an officer finds something,
we kind of collect it in a vial with alcohol for preservation. That specimen goes to USDA, Department of Agriculture, for identification.
And for the flowers,
The importer has basically three choices. One is to return to origin, two is to fumigate, or third is to destroy.
Destruction is the last resort. Treatment is most often fumigation. In an average day, we find around 50 to 60 different pests.
some flowers, like the eucalyptus, are high risk for carrying hitchhikers, while roses are less risky.
After the fumigation takes place, then the rest of the shipment can go to the public.
CBP inspects flowers every day, but on Valentine's,
Last season, we inspected over 700 million stems of flowers.
if CBP officers don't find anything, they bring the flowers back to that cold chain warehouse.
And when the customer arrives here, we take the flowers and go to the delivery area to load the flower directly to the truck.
The majority of these flowers are trucked to the northeast or west coast of the US, where folks like you and me can treat our loved ones to a colorful bouquet for Valentine's Day.